Hey guys, I thought I would start doing narrated flights. I think it's a little bit less boring than just watching some video. Here I'm flying Skywalker. It's version 6 with the 1680 wings with an RVOSD. Right now I've just put it into return to home mode. And I've done this, and I always do this when we first take off, just to make sure that you know, the plane is actually going to work and fly home should there be a problem. I think I've set the altitude for about 150 meters, and as you can see, it's steadily climbing now, and it's going to go into a circle mode because it's obviously sort of within the return to launch originating site, so it should start banking right, whilst trying to reach its cruise altitude of 150 meters. So it is starting to bank now. And the other thing that's quite important as well is to make sure that your cruise throttle is correct on RVOSD. You want to make sure that the plane has enough power to come back you know, against the wind, etc., and to be able to climb. For me at the moment, 11.7 amps is a pretty good amount of power for the motor, and that's because there's a lot of wind actually today. So I'm actually breaking the cardinal rule of FPV in that I'm flying out with a headwind. No, I'm not. I'm flying out with a tailwind, which is not really what you should be doing. Ideally, you want to be going into the wind, so that when you turn around to come back, you've got a tailwind that's going to push you along. But because it's only going to be a short flight, I've got plenty of battery, and I know where I am. It's kind of okay. So over in the distance there is a town called Bradford and Avon, and I'm aiming for that, just to do a little bit of a sortie today. Just to, I'm really just testing out some video equipment and this pan and tilt that I've made. Right now, so I've got to about 1 kilometre away. Everything seems to be working quite nicely. I'm flying with Ezuhf, which with a Spektrum transmitter. Never had a problem in 2 years, 3 years of doing that. So I love it, and as you can see, you know, I've got good connection there. It's just flicking between sort of 99 and 100% in the top left-hand corner of the OSD screen. So just bottom of the screen now, just off from the middle centre, is Sainsbury's supermarket with the car park. It's just on the outskirts of Bradford and Avon. Cruising nicely at 4 amps, and you can see we're doing 66 kilometres an hour, so we've got a bit of a tailwind going on there. Normally you want to be cruising, ideally on a Skywalker, at sort of 4, 5, 6 amps. So just having a little look around the town. Now notice top right hand corner of the OSD, you've got GPS, and it's showing 0.76 as the reception. Shortly it actually just dropped out on me completely. I've never had this happen before on RVOSD, and looking at the power and everything, there was no spikes of voltage or ampage, so I don't know, I think there was just kind of some weird GPS Bermuda Triangle. Here we go, it's going to go, and it goes. Completely gone. I kind of browned my pants a little bit at this point, and because of that I actually turned around, foolishly thinking that if the GPS had gone, then I wouldn't know the way home, but I live here, so I can follow the road. And also, look at the canal down there, you can see the flooding that's been happening recently. It's been dreadful. Yeah, talking about the GPS anyway, yeah, you know, if it drops, it's not a problem, because when it sets home at the beginning of the flight, you know, those details are stored. So as long as you regain GPS, which it did, no problem. then you can always get back home okay. I think I was more worried about return to home, not knowing which way it was going to go, because we only went out to like just about 3 kilometres, which is nothing. So anyway, now we're pointing down the down what is the main Froome Road, and just off to the Sainsbury's car park again. So we'll scoot round. That's all the Bradford and Avon back there, which is where I would have sort of gone. I'm quite pleased with pan and tilt, using a sail winch servo for the pan, and that gives you a full 360-degree pan, so you can look right around the back, which is good, you know, just to check that, you know, things are still stuck to the plane like the wings, because that would be a problem. Just to the right over there, you can see a cell tower. In fact, in the UK, our cell is on about 915 megahertz. So we could never use video in that range, and perhaps that was causing some kind of interference on something or other. But I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. Everything looks, you know, pretty much, you know, GPS is as good as it's ever going to get, I think, and also the Ezuhf reception is pretty good. So just in front of us is the village of Westwood, just outside Bradford and Avon, and that's where I head out to fly. And just above Westwood, sort of 3 or 4 fields up, in the middle of the screen is the field where I am currently standing. So we're about 1.5 kilometres away from takeoff point, and yeah, you know, it's not been too bad flight. You can see that I'm going back into wind, because look how many, in order to get a bit of power going, I'm having to keep the amps up a little bit more than I should. As I said before, you know, ideally for long range and longevity of the battery, you want to be cruising a Skywalker at you know, 4, 5, 6 amps, and that's probably the same with most planes really. The lower amps that you put on, that you're pushing, that obviously the more the battery runs. But I'm coming back into a wind, so I'm having to sort of apply a bit more power. But as you can see, I've got plenty of power, plenty of battery. I've got 4.9 volts really, and I've got 9 amps running. So if you cut the amps off, look, it's gone back over 15 volts. And that's what you really want to look at. You want to look at the voltage. Don't worry about the milliamp hours that have been used. Stick with the voltage, because it's the voltage that's crucial. So there's the field just there, there's the centre of the field now. I put it into return to home, and I've been doing this just to keep testing it really, because I've been playing around with various settings in RVOSD. I've used RVOSD for a year or so now, but this plane, it just took a little while to get it to come home properly, which is a thing about trimming, and I might do a video on the RVOSD setup and how to trim it out properly and how to use the settings, so that you can get it working really, really sweet. Anyway, she's cruising quite nicely. If you look, it's running at 10.7 amps, which is my cruise speed, and it was pulling just about 35 kilometres an hour, which is probably just over stall speed really, which is good, which is okay. So it kind of chugs home. It's not the best day for long range FPV today. As I say, the wind is, you know, it's I guess it's probably blowing about anywhere from 15 to 20 mile an hour. So I'm just having a little look round now. There's another field down there I sometimes fly from, and just down there, below to the bottom left of the screen, is the sewage works. So all the village poo is just going straight through there now. How nice. I should say that we're just using skew planar antenna on 1.3 here, and it's been working really well. I'm really pleased with that. Been on 5.8 years ago. It's okay, you know. Not really, you know, it's too difficult for distance really. 2.4 is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. and recommend it to anyone as long as you use the channels correctly in 2.4. Obviously you'd use illegal ones, wouldn't you? But you probably know what I'm talking about. And also just want to try 1.3, see what that was like. So this is on a 1280. And you know, the video has been solid. You know, there's a few, you're always going to get a few little drops and a few little glitches here and there. That's just the nature of the beast. So we're just coming back over towards the field now. You can see there's some nice lines in the field, which is just off to the right middle of the screen now, the lighter coloured field. And it's quite nice to see from the air because you get a good sense of where you are and where the field is when you're flying back. So I'm going to be looking at doing an approach now for landing, because although it says 11 degrees up there on the RVOSD, it seems to be a lot colder outside on today. So just engaging fly-by-wire, just to help now with coming back round. So just there's our local church at Westwood. I'm going to be banking round now and just viewing the field so that I can get an approach as best I can into wind. It's slightly off, but it will do. So you'll notice I'll sort of come in from the left and then turn to the right to go into the wind. So yeah, really lucky with this field. It's a great place to fly, really. You know, as you can see, there's not much obstruction with anything. You know, you've just got trees and things. So I'm going to do a lot of low flying with the 1.3 just to test its penetration capabilities, you know, through trees and behind buildings and things. So look out for those videos as soon as the weather comes. You know, we've had really bad weather. So I'm just coming up now, just getting myself lined up. There's the field. Dropping height quite nicely, and lining up to come down and across. As I say, you can see quite clearly, you know, the big divot through the middle of that field, which actually used to be an old village many few centuries ago. But here we go. So I'm coming in for a final now. Try and miss that big puddle up on the right hand side. Anyway, look, I hope you've enjoyed this flight. I hope it hasn't been too boring. I'm going to keep doing narrated flights, probably live narrated flights. So watch out for those, and catch you all soon.